Oh, well, hey, bitch. It's Jamie, that's me here, or welcome back to my channel, honey, and welcome back to yet another quick chat. Girl, on a quick chat today, we're about to talk about these housewives, honey, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. First up, we have Miss Marlo Hampton. Let's go ahead and talk about Marlo, because she ended up doing an interview with Behind the Velvet Rope, and she talked about a few things, and I just want to do like a quick little recap of that particular interview that she ended up having, okay? Y'all know one thing about Miss Marlo, she's going to be a problem child. No matter what, she's gonna be a problem child, okay? Marlo speaks on her peach, right? And how she felt like it happened in God's timing. One thing she said that was interesting to me was when she said she felt like God sat her down and told her she was going to cry or something like that. I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to make you feel unworthy. I feel like it was a moment that God had to sit me down and he told me, I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to make you feel unworthy today. I said, God said that, Marlo? No. Are you sure you want to put this out here on the Lord? Are you sure that what God said? Okay, then, Marlo, honey. She let us know that her first season that she was on the show of Real Housewives of Atlanta, she said that she did it for free. I was shocked to hear that because I just don't see Marlo doing anything for free. Okay, so she says that it was a moment where she was already approached to do the show. Of course, Carlos told us that on his show. Princess, I believe the lady Princess that was responsible for bringing a lot of the people together, in addition to Ms. Nene Leakes. She says Princess approached her, wanted her to be a part of the show or whatever. And Miss Marlo just really wasn't at that place. It wasn't something she was trying to do. She was cool where she was at. But I feel like after she saw the attention that the ladies were getting, after she saw the clout and things that were beginning to come with Real Housewives of Atlanta, that was the reason why she decided to go over there and be like, oh, let me try it out. Because she tried to dummy it down in the interview, like, oh, well, I was just like, I'll just go over here and play with these girls and see what they're talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't be doing nothing for real. You know what I'm saying? I'll be a Monty here and there. I'll be doing a little bit. Let me go over there and play with the ladies. Girl. That's what Miss Marlo said. But I feel like once she saw the attention, that's when she really wanted to go and join the ladies. And she also did it for free. Okay. Now, I don't know how many more seasons she ended up doing it for free, but she said that first one she did. Okay. Now, Marlo ends up speaking on Miss Kenya. And what was interesting was that she kept calling Kenya Summer. And I don't know why she calling this lady Summer. I'm like, will it make sense towards the middle to end of the season? Well, sure, I feel like we're in the middle now. But will it make sense as we get further along in the season as to why she keeps calling this woman Summer? Okay, Summer Moore. I'm like, what is this? Okay, so she talked about Miss Kenya, because I almost call her Summer too. Okay, she talks about, or at least I felt like when she was talking about Kenya, Marlo likes to play this victim, like she doesn't do anything to anyone and everybody does things to her, and she feels like a lot of times she's responding to things, and that's not always the case, Miss Marlo. Okay. A lot of times you create these situations for yourself. It's not that people just come at you and then you're responding. No, you do SHI for them to respond to, and then you turn it around and flip it and make it seem like you're the victim in all of it. Okay. So she also said when it came to Kenya coming to like her eBay event or Lebay event, she says that she thought that she was going to come and finally support her because she and Kenya have been so up and down. She thought that, okay, for once, Kenya's going to show up and she's finally going to support me, only to find out that Kenya didn't support her at all, okay? In her opinion, girl. Let Marlo tell her Candy didn't support her either. The only thing is, I believe Candy when Candy tells us all of the things that she has done for Marlo. Kenya never tells us, so I don't know if Kenya doesn't do anything for Marlo. I feel like she may have tried to be there for Marlo in the past, but Kenya doesn't really talk about it often in interviews. But y'all that may have seen the interviews that I didn't, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. But I feel like based on how Marlo shows herself to be when it comes to her and Candy, and how she always try to act like Candy ain't do nothing or whatever, I don't do nothing for her, ain't do nothing for her. I don't know why people be doing that to Candy. I feel like when Candy even put Porsha in her doggone in her play, okay? Then Porsha turned around and betrayed her like Candy never extended a hand out to this woman at any point. So I mean, then you got Miss Kim's OCA. Like, why everybody be over here trying to play on Candy? Everybody be over here trying to play on this woman. Like, she just don't be showing up for a lot of y'all. And then y'all turn around and y'all turn y'all back on this lady. Like, I'm not, okay? As I'm getting older and I'm watching this show and stuff, I'm like, I'm not understanding. Maybe I was with the SHI at some point, but now I'm just like, okay, y'all not making no sense, okay? But anyway, girl, when it comes to Marlo, I'm saying all that to say how she shows herself when it comes to Kandi makes me think how she's showing herself to Kenya could be similar. Acting like she's the victim, like Kenya don't do nothing, as if Kenya has never supported her ever. But that's what she said. And I don't really like that because she also says that it hurt her. She says it hurts that Kenya did not give her a call. Or Kandi, when she ended up getting that peach, she said nobody gave her a call. Nobody really acknowledged it. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why is it okay for Nene to do this? Why is it okay for Nene to ignore you, Nene to this day, to not acknowledge the fact that you are a peach holder, to not celebrate you or do anything? Why is it okay for them, but not okay for everybody else? Why is it not okay for Kandi and Kenya? And you said it out your mouth yourself that you've known Kandi the longest. And you feel like you and Kandi should be closer than anybody. But you're more closer with Nene, a woman that out your mouth has not recognized you as being a peach holder or anything like that. But then you be over here giving Kandi all this flack. It's not really adding up for me, Miss Marlo. I don't think that's fair. And then you chalk it up to just Nene being whoever she is. Like, that's just Nene. That's how Nene is. That's how she's going to be. That's Nene. That's my friend. This is whatever. That's not cool. That's not cool, man. Okay, so let's keep going. So David ended up asking Marlo if she ever sees Kenya passing the baton over to somebody else. And I'm thinking to myself, why would she? Who is she going to pass it over to? Because she's sure not going to give it to Marlo. Of course, Marlo says she don't see Kenya passing that baton over ever. Okay, she doesn't see her doing that. But it's like, but who's she finna give it over to? And if she did pass the baton, maybe if people have felt like Kenya has been a villain for oh so long, and now Marlo, you are being labeled the villain, maybe she did pass the baton over, girl, for you to be the one that's getting criticized, so you can get that work like she's been getting that work for all these years. But okay. So then she goes on to call Miss Kandi a spoiled, money-making brat. And I was like, if I was Kandi, I'd be like, and I'll be that. That's fine. You can call. That's okay, girl. No, it's okay. It's fine. No, I'm fine with being a spoiled, money-making brat. Whatever it is you want to call me, I'm fine with that. Okay. Then she goes on to praise Sanya. And I was like, girl, whatever this praise is that you're giving to Sanya, we're not really seeing it on the show. So hopefully it will make sense by the end of the season, because it's not right now. She over there praising Sanya, and Sanya's the reason that all of the girls are still coming together. And, you know, she's doing things for us to, you know, get clicked back up and stuff. And I said, girl, she must be talking about the other half of the season, because I know she's not talking about the front part. You know what I'm saying? But okay, girl, we gonna see, girl. Maybe Miss Sanya can get the people to change their view about her before the season is over with, because a lot of people are more so Team Drew than their Team Sanya. But we'll see, okay? Then Marlo speaks on missing the old heads. She talked about, and this is where I feel like Marlo is extremely self-centered to me, okay? She says, I miss the old heads, you know, Cynthia, Nene, Porsha. I miss them. And you know why I miss them? I miss them because it's a time to celebrate me, is what she said. It's a time for them to celebrate her being a peach holder, and they're not around to do that. What? So you miss them so that they can celebrate you? I can't. Then she goes on to talk about how Porsha has texted her, reached out to her and said, hey, girl, the only reason why I watch this show is because of you. And then in the same sentence, Marlo turns around and SHIs on Miss Porsha by saying that, yeah, Portia's happy. She's in her relationship. She's about to get married soon. But I think that she will return at some point to Real Housewives of Atlanta once Simon's coins dry up. Now, I'm not going to say she lying, girl. I'm just not going to say that. I'm not going to say she lying at all. But it's just that, girl, I thought that was your good friend. She didn't hit you up. You the only reason why she watched the show. And then you done turned around and did this lady like this. Okay, then, girl. Well, there's that. Because one thing about Marlo, it seemed like she ain't going to spare nobody, because she ended up reading charade just a little bit too while she was over here during this interview, okay? I did say that I hate that Marlo is so self-centered and all she talks about is herself and her fashions and constantly acting like a victim and a whole woe is me. Like, I hate that she does that, okay? And then she's quick to throw in your face the fact that she was a foster child, okay? I can't, okay? I just... Let's keep going. Then she drags Kandi, right? She starts talking about Kandi. She's like, Kandi, girl, ain't nobody know you until you got on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Ooh, scoot back, Miss Kandi. This is what Marlo's saying. She said, now I know you was doing escaping stuff and some people knew you from that, but primarily people only knew you here in Georgia. A lot of people didn't know you over there in LA or anything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you really ain't get your claim to fame until you got over here with Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I was saying, I didn't know how to take that one, girl. I kind of like clutched on my little necklace over here, girl. I said, ooh, well. Now what I will say is that I feel like there is a little bit of truth in what Miss Marlo said in that statement. Now, Kandi has been very successful because she's wrote a lot of records for a lot of people. So I feel like a lot of people definitely knew Miss Kandi. But I do believe when Kandi got on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she elevated the hell out of her brand. I think that Real Housewives of Atlanta platform definitely helped Kandi. I will say that. I do believe that. And I don't think that that's something Kandi would actually deny. They originally wanted Tamika from Real Housewives, from Escape, Tiny, T.I.'s wife. They originally wanted her, and y'all know how controlling T.I. was at one point. So she turned it down and passed it over to Kandi. Kandi took on the opportunity, and she took the baton and she ran with it, and she did what needed to be done when it came to this show. Simple as that. Okay. So there's that. What else happened? I said it would be very interesting as I was listening to this interview. I was like, bro, this would be so interesting to see. Oh my God, my plan is growing. That makes me so happy. But anyway, I'm sitting over here thinking to myself, it would be extremely interesting to see whether Marlo will return for the next season. It's like, that would be so embarrassing if you kept up all this ruckus this season only for you to not return the next season, or for you to be demoted to a friend of the next season. You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like all it takes is for Porsha to be like, I want back in. And if Porsha says she wants back in, then Marlo, they're going to scoot you back down. That's just what I'm thinking, girl. And I could be wrong, or maybe they may snatch up Miss Sanya and make Miss Sanya a friend of the show. I don't know. But I was just thinking to myself, like, girl, it'd be so interesting to see if they demoted you or something, and you doing all this razzle bedazzle talking and then got demoted, you know. But anyway, girl, let's keep going. So a question came up about Marlo's money and where it's coming from, right? So the question was like, Marlo, you know, why do you think everybody has such a hard on about your money, like, and where it comes from? So Marlo decides to say, well, you know, my thing is this, like, she by Sheree, you know, she's been trying to do this. First of all, she says Sheree lives in this huge mansion, this beautiful mansion, this big, beautiful mansion. And we haven't seen she by Sheree in I don't know how long. I could go to the website now in so many words and say she still can't get a product from She by Sheree. So she pretty much dragged Sheree. She's like, and nobody's asking her where her money is coming from, but she living in this big old mansion. And I'm saying, like, I'm like, girl, no, not. I'm at the door. No, we're still asking Sheree, where you getting this coin to maintain this house, especially when you be up and down, in and out of Real Housewives Atlanta. So I feel like people are asking that question. Okay. Then she drags Kenya and tries to down talk Kenya on having her hair care line on the south side. It's over there on the south side where Kandi live. It's over there on the south side. So then you try to throw shade at Kandi. And then also I feel like you was trying to throw shade at the south side. Okay. So anyway, she says that, you know, Kenya only has her hair products in one store over there on the south side near Miss Kandi over there in the CVS. And when I went in there, they didn't have anything. Everything was like sold out. So I mean, nobody's asking her where her money is coming from. And I'm like, Kenya probably knows how to budget very well. She probably got other types of investments and things going on that you may never know about. She has a history of doing TV, so she might get some residuals from that. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling what else she got going on over there, girl. She's been on the show long enough to create some other investments that we all may not know about, that she may not want to publicize on the show. I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Then she also drags Drew as well, not knowing what Drew has been doing. Drew being a has-been actor or whatever she got going on. I'm like, but Drew do got a husband now. Drew do got a husband that seems to work in tech or something like that. So maybe he's able to provide for them in some capacity. And then she may get a job here or there with some acting, a little bit of residual checks, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But she wants to bring all these people up and wonders why nobody is questioning where their money is coming from, but they want to question yours. This is what I think. I think the reason they question yours, Marlo, is because you are extremely self-centered. All you do is discuss yourself all the time in your fashions. You talk so much about yourself and your fashions that, oh, I got this car and I got that car and I just went and got another Birkin and I bought this and that, because you know you got to order those. Like, you always bragging about your successes. I ain't gonna say your successes, but your accomplishments in fashion is what I'll say, right? And people are still wondering, like, well, what do you do? Because whenever you see that, and you see it on TikTok now, like when you see people that got these big houses, these nice cars, now they made it a trend where they go and knock on a person's door and be like, hey, what do you do? You know, it's a common question that a lot of people ask. What do you do? And we don't know. But what we do know is that you do, Marlo, you like to mention the things that you're working on now. But how you like to tell it, as you told in the beginning, when you first did Real Housewives and you did it for free, you was already that girl in Atlanta. You was already making a lot of money. See, you like to talk about the stuff you got now, like the archive or whatever you're working on now. No, we want to talk about what was, okay? Because you be talking like you got long money, so we just trying to figure out where the money started, and you don't want to answer those. And I feel like that's why nobody really pries more into what Drew got going on, because she is new to Housewives, right? And Miss Kenya, I don't know why they don't necessarily pry into her, but Kenya don't sit around talking about herself and bragging about her stuff and her fashions and all this other stuff, okay? And the cars that she driving and all this and that. You be doing that. So when you put your stuff out there like that, people are going to want to know what's in your pocket, okay? What's in your wallet? Yikes. So the people want to know. Now, Sheree, I feel like Sheree has always gotten those questions. But Sheree also know not to brag either. She like, I'm not gonna brag too much, girl. Let me just be quiet, just a little bit. Let me sit down over here in the corner. Okay, that. I feel like that's what the difference is. But I want to hear you all's thoughts and comments about that particular situation when it comes to Miss Marlo and everybody being all in her business. Okay, she tells Sheree, she says, "You my girl or whatever, but I want you to know that summer, spring, and fall has passed, and I still can't buy a jogger." These are Marlo's words. Okay, she also speaks on Candiace Dillard of Real Housewives of Potomac and talks about how much she loves her because she got a chance to spend time with her at a Pride event or something like that. So they hung out, and she just said that she really adores Candiace. So there's that. Okay, so girl, y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below regarding Miss Marlo. I'm about to go ahead and switch gears, and we're gonna talk about Mr. Peter Thomas, because he ended up doing an interview with Carlos King, and I thought it was a pretty interesting interview, which is why I'm going to discuss it with you guys now. So Peter does speak on his relationship that he had with Miss Cynthia and how they ended up making it onto Real Housewives of Atlanta or whatnot. Based on people that Cynthia has dated in her history of being in the public eye, and on top of like his accomplishments as well, is what brought, you know, some of the producers or whatever to them to want to get them on the show. This is what I learned about the relationship. I did not know that Cynthia actually dated Russell Simmons, and I said, what? I never ever knew that. I always thought it was just like Leon and maybe a person we didn't know, but I didn't know that, you know, she actually dated Russell Simmons. Interesting, should have known. Russell Simmons is the one I believe that was with Kimora Lee. He's the one that likes to date the models. So I guess it makes sense now, okay? Peter also, back in the day, dated Nia Long. Never knew that, girl. Never knew that. I said, what? When was that? So, Peter, you mean to tell me you've been around and I ain't know you've been around like that. So then he also lets us know that he dated Pepper of Salt and Pepper. I said, girl, now look at this. Ain't this something right here? Now, was this before or after Trash? Because I didn't know none of this stuff here. Okay, I'm thinking that Peter just this random dude that Cynthia just happened to find at a restaurant or something like that, girl, and then just decided to link up with the man. No, he has actually been around the industry. We also learned that he was a consultant for Def Jam for many years. Another fun fact that I never knew about Mr. Peter. Okay, now Carlos says that in the beginning they weren't necessarily sold on Cynthia because Cynthia seemed to be a bit hesitant. She had a tough time like getting in there when it came to stuff, but for some reason they were more interested in Peter. I don't know why, but that's what he said. They were interested in Peter. So I guess seeing how Peter motivated Cynthia, they were willing to continue to give them a chance. And I think that was good. I think the show did really great for Cynthia overall. So, I mean, it wasn't bad that she ended up, you know, staying on the show, you know, over time. Okay. She just had a little struggle behind the scene to get there, but you know, it's all good. Okay. Now, they also speak on Kenya Moore. Okay. And this is when Peter decides to say that Kenya Moore is the smartest woman on TV. Interesting, the way Miss Marlo be over here dragging her down to the ground and stuff, honey. Peter over here saying that Kenya is the smartest woman on television because she understands what comes along with being on TV and being with this group. He says that she knows that these people are people she would not necessarily hang with outside of what they already do. Okay. He also says that she knows how to deliver. That's the short answer. She understands it. She gets reality. She knows what to do. And she just go in, she deliver, and then scene cut. She's about to go on about her business. She knows this is work, okay? One of the questions ended up coming up about whether or not they got paid or something like that, or did he get a percentage or anything, right? It was interesting to hear him say this. He ended up getting 15%. So just like Cynthia would get a budget or whatever to pay for like her her makeup artist or her hair person or whatever the case is, he also took 15% after their household bills and everything was taken care of. I never knew that. I did kind of hear, like when I think about Kenya Moore having Walter on the show, and everybody was like, she paid him to be on the show, she paid him to be on the show, she paid him to be her fake boyfriend, whatever the case may be. He probably wanted to get a check off of being on the show, whatever the case, even if they were dating or they weren't dating, I don't know. But he probably got a percentage. But the thing is, a lot of these husbands about got a percentage. Okay, Todd probably get a percentage from Candy just for appearing on the show. So a lot of them probably get a percentage. Like, so that was interesting. Okay. I always thought that if you're going to be on television, you have to pay. You're going to have to they going to have to pay you to, you know, show your face, use your likeness, whatever the case may be. But obviously that's not necessarily the case. You probably just going to get up there and sign a waiver and understand that you're not going to be paid at this time. But what comes along with the platform, some people may be like, shoot, hey, it's put me in the public eye. I ain't got to get paid. Let me go and move on about my business. You feel what I'm saying? So there's that. All right. Now, he also denies hooking up Nene with his good friend Yoni. He said that they already were familiar with each other without him, is what he say. But he was like the common denominator between the both of them. But they would individually ask about each other. Okay, he did. He also talked about, going to see Greg when Greg was, ill, like 3 days before his passing. He went to see him and stuff. Greg told him to look out for Nene and stuff. And the question was, do you think that's what Greg meant when he said, look out for Nene? Do you think he meant like hook my wife up with somebody else? And that's when Peter said, well, that really wasn't on him. But he's the common denominator, but they both would ask him about each other. And I just feel like, well, then you participated in the connection between them. Like, that's just how I look at it. Like, so then you did help them hook up. You know what I'm saying? And I could be wrong, but girl, that's what I'm thinking. But anyway, let's keep going. The conversation also came up about Todd, Peter, and Apollo getting into it. This is information I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know that they ended up almost fighting over there at the club. So I guess when Apollo ended up getting out, I guess he wanted to pick up where he left off. If there was any friction or anything, Apollo was going around having interviews with other people. So when Apollo ended up seeing Todd was on some get up out my face. Like, I don't rock with you. You said so much stuff. You talk to everybody else, but you ain't come and see about me if you had an issue or whatever. So then Peter tried to go over there and talk to Todd, get him to understand where Apollo is coming from since he's gotten out and things like that. And so Todd got real fly. So he said they got head to head with each other, girl. They was for to scrap off in that thing. Of course, people had to pull them back, but they really was finna come to blows. And I was just like, goodness gracious, you guys, my goodness, I'm glad somebody was able to stop that. Where they are today is, I don't think they communicate with each other, but I don't believe that there is any beef on the side of Peter. Peter said he bumped into Todd at Las Vegas. They had a quick little exchange or something like that. I don't even know if any words were exchanged. I think it was like passing him something or whatever the case was. And that was it. Hasn't seen him since, and they don't really talk like that. But on Peter's end, he feels like there is absolutely no beef. Okay. Now, y'all know Peter got him a spot down there. I believe he got one in North Carolina and one somewhere in Florida. So the Real Housewives of Potomac are going to end up going to a restaurant, I guess, somewhere in Florida or whatnot. Basically, they're going to go to one of Peter's restaurants, okay, wherever it's located. And what ended up happening was that some glasses was thrown. And what we're hearing is that Miss Mia, according to Carlos, was one of the ones that threw a glass, girl. And he was trying to confirm some tea, like, girl, who threw the glass and what happened and how did it happen and who got hit? But Peter didn't necessarily say who got hit. All he did was just confirm that, yeah, some liquor was thrown in somebody's face, glasses was thrown, and we definitely had some action. Okay. So I just told my girl Candiace ain't had nothing to do with that. Okay. Nothing to do with that. But you just never know, girl. I don't know. Because he also mentioned Wendy. So it had something to do with Mia and Wendy. He was trying to get Peter to confirm. He just said, yeah, some things happened. We had some action. Okay. So I ain't hear Candiace's name, but you know how it goes. They probably ain't. Anyway, let's scoot over. Okay. He also talked about Cynthia suing him for a building. I do remember that when Cynthia was trying to sue him for a building. But he said once he found out about the suit, because he didn't know anything about it, he reached out to his attorney, gave the attorney like $100K to settle it with Cynthia. And so he called Cynthia and told her, like, listen, when we divorced, I never asked you for anything. I let you sell the house. I let you have all of the money from it. I just left and just gave you whatever it is you want. So now for you to want to sue me over this building when I told you I was going to give you the money, I don't think that that's fair. I think that's messed up, whatever the case may be. And so he talked to her. She was willing to accept, according to Peter, the $100K. So they worked it out. He sent her $100K. So now he has the building, wherever the building's at and whatever he's going to do with the building. Okay. So he felt like that was a little shady or whatnot. I don't know if it was necessarily shady. I feel like Cynthia probably was just doing that to give him a wake up call. Like, you need to make it move. Because if the thing is, for me, if you have a building that you said you was going to pay her on, you was going to pay her back the money or whatever the case was, and you couldn't pay it, but then all of a sudden you didn't sat up here and got sued, now you want to drop 100 racks down on her, and that's probably what she was willing to accept, like just to make it all go away. You could have been did that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. You could have been did that instead of sitting up here slacking on payments or whatever the case may be, because it sounded like when she started the lawsuit, he wasn't paying. So I don't know what that was about, but now all of a sudden you can come through with it. I think she did that as a scare tactic to get your attention, but that's just what I think, okay? But either way, that's the interview, all right, that Peter had over there with Carlos, all right? So we're going to go ahead and switch gears, girl, and talk about Miss Cynthia Bailey, because Cynthia Bailey, just real briefly, since we're talking about her, Cynthia Bailey is actually going to be a part of a show. I believe it's going to have Teresa from Real Housewives of New York, and it's going to have 2 other people on the show that I'm not necessarily familiar with, okay? But they're over there somewhere near Bravo E. They work with those individuals. So basically, she's going to be a part of a summer show. And when I see this, it makes me think that this could possibly be like a talk show. When you have 3 ladies, 1 man, I feel like this could probably be some type of talk show or something, or sit down, kind of like Nightly Pop or whatever. It may be some type of show like that instead of like a reality show, but it's supposed to happen this summer is what the rumor is. Okay, that's what the rumor mill is saying. So we'll see what's really going to come of that for Miss Cynthia. But either way, girl, congratulations and good luck. Because when Cynthia left Real Housewives of Atlanta, she told us that we was going to continue to see her on TV. So I guess that's what she's trying to make sure that we do, continue to see her on television. Okay, so let's go ahead and move over. And let's talk about these Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Please be looking out for my review that will be dropping after this video at some point. So definitely be looking for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills review. But we got to talk about this, girl, because there was a clip that was going around of the preview for this episode and the next week's episode, where basically Miss Erika Jayne decided that she was going to try to, get the attention in a flirty way is what I'll say, with Garcelle's oldest son, Oliver, and then turn around and cuss her youngest son out. So then we see that where Garcelle had to check her and let her know, like, girl, that's not how you, no, that's not what we do. Okay, don't talk to my child like that. Okay, this is a kid, he's 14, like, don't do that. Right? So we see that. And then during this trailer, we also see where Kyle has a sit down with Dorit and her husband, and she's laughing about it, and she thinks that things are just so funny when it comes to the incident that took place, right? So it's just been a lot of SHI that's been going on over there with Beverly Hills, okay? So the Diana situation and Diana and Sutton, and then you got Lisa Rinna speaking out, and then you got Kyle adding her 2 cents, and then we find out about the things Erika had to say to Garcelle's son. And then you got Miss Kyle coming back trying to, clean herself up with this post that she put over there on IG. But before we get to that, I just want to post this shout out that Garcelle took to her children after the trailer started to surface of the disrespect that one of her kids got. Okay. So this post says, this is an appreciation post for my sons, Oliver, Jax, and Jade. You boys make me so proud. You are loving, kind, and respectful. You show respect to people even when they don't deserve it. Respect is a reflection of your character, not theirs. Okay, that was a really nice message that she put up there for her boys. Yes, come on, appreciation post. Okay, I must say, girl, after watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all know Garcelle been getting on my nerves, right? Y'all know I ain't really been featuring her, but girl, the way she just got Miss Kyle together just a little bit and was on Miss Erika head, I'm back over there on the side of Miss Garcelle, and I think I done slid back over there with Miss Sutton too. Okay, so we'll get into that, but let's keep going because this is what Kyle had to put on her page to address some things. Okay. Kyle says, hi guys, I wanted to share some things with you about this week's episode. I have not seen it yet, but I have seen the clips floating around. I bet you have. First, let's address my comment to Sutton. When Diana was sharing her story about having a miscarriage, I was taken aback because I felt like Sutton wasn't letting Diana have her moments to share what she had just recently gone through. I had obviously had a few drinks and didn't express myself clearly, and I was disappointed in the way I handled myself all together. You should have been. You should have been disappointed, but I'm going to get into you as the review, but let's keep going because there's more to this post, okay? She says, when I woke up the next morning, I thought about what happened the night before, and I realized that maybe Sutton was sharing her story with Diana to connect with her in some way. It took you to wake up the next morning for you to realize that when Sutton sat up there and told you that she was trying to connect with her, but you weren't listening to her. You wanted to do what it is that you wanted to do because that's just how you is. Let's keep going. Okay. She says, I immediately called Sutton and apologized to her. I consider Sutton a close friend and care about her a lot. Sutton accepted my apology and we moved on. She also goes on to say, now on to the clip where Mauricio, PK, and Dorit and I are discussing Erika's behavior at Garcelle's party. Girl, we need to be discussing your behavior as well with them kids in the building and you over there hunching on the floor. Let's keep going, okay? She says, I had not seen what Erika said to Jax in person. If you didn't see what she said in person, why would you bring it to the group? That wasn't a smart idea, Mr. Producer Man, whoever it was, producer woman, or were you trying to produce yourself? Because if anybody should have brought it up, it should have been Dorit because she was sitting right there. Okay, but let's go ahead and let's keep going. She says, I had not seen what Erika said to Jax in person, but was told about it in the following day, along with some funny moments as well. When I said it's not funny, but it's funny, I meant Erika being drunk was funny, but what she said to Jax was not. That's not making sense to me. When your husband, immediately after you say it, is funny, but it's not funny, your husband turned around and you know what he said? Your husband turned around and said, I'm glad she said that. So I don't know what you're trying to pull right now, Miss Kyle. I'm gonna be honest, girl. What is you trying to pull here? Okay. She also goes on to say, I hope you know me well enough by now to know I certainly do not condone speaking to children like that. Then she continues and says, we are all parents and certainly wouldn't want anyone speaking to any of our children like that. Until Mexico, we had never seen Erika drink like that. So this was new behavior we were seeing. Is it new behavior that you were seeing? Because it seems like you guys were referencing behavior that she's shown you all in the past where she was so lively and bubbly and all this other stuff. And I'm sure she had drinks at that time. How do you know her as long as you've known her and filmed with her, been around her, all of this? And then now you're saying that you've never seen her get how she's been. Like, I don't know, y'all. Let me know because it's not up here for me. Okay. Now, she also goes on to say, so this was new behavior we were seeing. I think while focusing on that, the more important issues was being minimalized. Anyway, I never post things like this, but I felt absolutely terrible watching these clips. So I wanted to share with you. Love, Kyle. Yeah, you felt terrible because social media was eating deep out of you. Okay, girl, they was eating all of the pie. And there was about to be no more left when it came to you, Kyle, girl. It was about to be no more left. And that's the real reason I feel like you decided to come out and speak. In addition to that, I think you did watch it. I'll give you that. I think you did watch it and saw how classless, untasteless, like or shall I say tasteless, that it looked. You saw that and was like, ooh, girl, let me call you right back, girl. Yeah, I'm gonna address this right now. Yeah, that's what that really was, okay? But I want to hear you all thoughts and comments down below. We'll get more into Miss Kyle when I do my review on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, okay? In the meantime, girl, let's go ahead and let's scoot over. Let's move on, okay? Now, let's talk about Miss Porsha Williams and Mr. Dennis McKinley. Porsha ended up getting a tattoo with Dennis many years ago, right? They got a matching tattoo, like I think on this side of their ear in the back. Well, last year or earlier this year, I feel like it was last year, Porsha went and got the Simon's middle name or whatever tattooed back here on this side, girl. And as it's getting closer and closer and closer to her wedding, I suppose, whenever that's going to happen or whatnot, it's like she decided to go ahead and get the tat that she has with Dennis covered up. So I'm like, I can't necessarily be mad at Porsha for wanting to cover up this tattoo now that she's entering into a new relationship. Maybe that's something she really needed to do, which was get this tattoo covered, because it's making me think about how Porsha, when we watched Porsha Family Matters earlier this year, she wasn't fully over Dennis. It's like she wasn't really ready to give him up, like, you know what I'm saying? Because it seemed like it was a Porsha and Dennis show more than it was about her and her marriage or anything. So it seems like she wasn't ready to let him go. She gonna always have that little girl with him. So I guess her covering up this tattoo or removing it is just another way of her shedding the relationship that she had with Dennis, honey. Girl.
You're fine.
I need the ice skin. That's a bit funny. So it looks like from Porsha's caption on the video, it looks like she did not go through with the removal. She was hoping to go through with it, but she said, "I'm gonna need some numbing cream before I move forward with this." So I think it's still in the works, and if it was not removed, I think that's still the plan, which is to get it removed. Okay. But Miss Girl said she couldn't take that, and that's funny to me because I'm like, I didn't even know it felt like that. I didn't even know it popped like that or anything when you are having like laser removal. I don't know why. I've never experienced it, but it just seemed like, okay, it's just a little light, little heat, like boop, 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 boop. I'm thinking it's a quick process, but the way Miss Porsha just showed it, girl, you ain't got to worry about me. You do not got to worry about me. But it seems like Dennis. Let's get to Dennis because Dennis may have beat her to the punch. Okay. Dennis says, I've been covered mine up. You late, my baby. Girl, if Dennis gonna do anything, it's definitely going to be to troll Miss Porsha. Definitely going to be that. And shortly, once he put this post up, immediately following that post was a beautiful woman that he had on his page. And he put a heart up there. So I'm like, is this your new girlfriend? And I think it had some music up there too. So I'm like, is this your girlfriend? Are you going legit with somebody else, Mr. Dennis? This girl don't look like the same girl that you was caught out there with earlier this year. So maybe you was just dating around. But for you to post her and you didn't put a heart, who is this woman? Well, I guess it's good that you're moving on and everybody else is too, honey. Either way, for both of you guys. Good luck. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to our final topic tonight. And that is going to be Miss Candiace Dillard of Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, I wanted to come to you guys and talk about Candiace because we've seen her on the show. You know, she's been giving the ladies a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? She's called Miss Ashley Wide Body. Okay, she said she was talking about her forehead, but we do understand that this came post Ashley giving birth to 2 children. Well, it seems like Miss Candiace is hoping to give birth soon as well. Candiace ended up posting this to her Instagram page, okay, on her story. And the first thing I saw was retrieval day is close. So when I see this, I'm like, is she probably doing the IVF? Like, I wonder. And then as I looked more, I saw at the very bottom where it says hashtag IVF. So it looks like Miss Candiace Dillard is going through that process of IVF. So hopefully we'll be saying congratulations to her soon, as she too will be a mommy. Hopefully, honey. Can y'all imagine Candiace with kids? Can y'all see Candiace with kids? Y'all got to let me know y'all thoughts, right? I didn't think that she would be ready for this at this time. And hopefully we get a chance to like capture that journey of her going through this process. What's also interesting is that Candiace is expected, and it's been said, okay, by a few outlets, that Candiace and Giselle will both be a part of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, and they're going to be filming over there in Thailand. So now that I see that it looks like she's going through this IVF process and she's going to Thailand, I'm just wondering, how is that going to work? Is she going to be able to take Chris with her? Because I'm sure they probably only going to be over there for like 2 weeks or something, right, as they film the show. So I'm like, is Chris going to go with you? How does this process necessarily work? I've never been through it before, but I'm definitely wondering how it's going to work out for Miss Candiace. But that would be so interesting. I feel like if Candiace were to have children, I think the relationship between she and Ashley could possibly, girl, get a little better. We gonna see. I also hope to see in this coming season that Candiace ain't really into it with a lot of people. I'm hoping that's just Mia, maybe Wendy, and some other folks that's really into it. So Candiace can get her mind right so that she can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, hopefully, you know, carry a child or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see, girl. We gonna see how that's going, honey. Girl, it's so interesting how times and things change. Y'all know Ashley just separated from Michael Darby. They getting a divorce. She still got these cute little boys or whatnot. Meanwhile, Miss Candiace over here, and she about to, try and get pregnant. So this is, girl, listen, hopefully they capture all of that this upcoming season with Real Housewives of Potomac. And really, y'all, that's all that I got. I just wanted to come to you guys real quick, talk to you guys about what's been going on out here in Housewives land. Okay, go ahead and hop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about everything that I discussed today on the quick chat. Okay, I'm Jamie. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie. That's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.